Hey guys, it's me Paco, and you're watching Bad Witch Books.
Guys.
Today we're going to be doing the wrap-up for April. I know this video is a little late. I was at Y'all West last week, so I didn't get a chance to film. So here we are filming the April wrap-up. In April, I read a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe 10 books, which we're going to cut to Stats Paco, because Stats Paco has all the info we need. So Stats Paco, let's get to it. I am looking at my spreadsheet. So in the month of April, which, how is it April already? How is it May? Like, how is April over? This year is already halfway to the point, and I'm more than halfway to the point of the breaking point, but that's just here nor there. That is at all times. So in the month of April, I read 10 books. I read about 1,674 pages. I listened to about 53 hours and 63 minutes. Average rating was about 3.8. Books acquired were about like 7 books, which you guys will see that in the book haul. I didn't do any rereads. I didn't really DNF anything. I started 4 series, and 9 were diverse. Of those books, 4 audiobooks, 2 ebooks, 3 physical books, and 1 mixture. 2 graphic novels and 8 novels. Of the audience rating, 7 were adult, 3 were YA. And then of the star ratings, 3 3 stars, 5 4 stars, and 2 4.5s. We'll say that's a pretty good month. And then of the genres, 1 contemporary, 1 mystery, 1 sci-fi, 2 thrillers, and where's the fantasy? 5 fantasy, and then no nonfiction. So back to regular Paco.
Thanks,
That's Paco. But now that we've done that, we're gonna go over in-depth reviews or quick reviews of each of the books I read. This is in no particular order. We will of course be doing the books I do not have on me first. So the 2 books that I read that I do not have on me are 2 comics. The first one was X-Men Red Volume 2. I did also start Me and Princess, and I believe Helen also started Reddit's fantasy board, bingo board for 2024. This book fit X-Men Red fit the prompt for book with a different media in it, and the X-Men comics have like a bunch of different data pages and stuff that's like different type of media, so I will show that. Like, it had like stuff attached to it basically, and so I will show those. But X-Men Red Volume 2 by L. Ewing follows Storm, as she is the regent of Mars, and it shows Arakko. This ties in with X-Men Avengers Inhumans Judgment Day, which I read last month, which was like this whole line event between all of the comics, and this shows what happened on Arakko / Mars. It deals with the death of Magneto, Storm, and then Abigail Brand finally like revealing her big scheme, which I really enjoyed this comic. I am loving this run. Storm, my queen, is just killing it every time. So I really enjoyed this run. Next, I read Immortal X-Men Volume 2, which this follows the Quiet Council of Krakoa, and this one specifically focuses more on Destiny, and this also ties into that the whole publishing line event of AVX Judgment Day, and this shows the Quiet Council dealing with the events of this event. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Destiny. I enjoyed Sinister. This also led the way for Sins of Sinister event. But yeah, I gave this also like a 3.5. X-Men Red was a 4 stars, or almost 5. But now we're on to the books I actually own. So the first book I have, and like I said, this is in no order. This is just the order that I piled them up, is Feybound. This is my first book by Sarafi El Amrif, I believe I pronounced her name right. This fit for the book with a character with a disability for the Reddit prompt, and because it was also the magical readathon. This is I forgot what prompt this was. This was for a prompt, and I forgot what prompt it was, because April was really long. I didn't go over that, you guys. April felt like it lasted forever for me, and so it's been a minute. And so I honestly forgot what prompt Faybound fit. And if you didn't know, the Magical Readathon is a readathon hosted by the Bookish Roast, where every month, like August and April, we're in school, and I am a necromancer. And I honestly forgot what prompt Faybound was for. But I did read it. And this book follows two sisters. I am terrible with names. Iren and Lettel, I believe. They are two elf sisters. They live in a world where fays, humans, and elves all once lived, but the fays and humans are no longer exist, or so they think. They think they're extinct, and there is a war going on for this big, large territory that the elves are fighting over, the different elf clans. And Yettel is I believe she's a colonel in one of the armies, and she does something that gets her kicked out, and Lettel, her sister, and a fellow soldier follow Iren, and they see Fae and are trapped in the Fae court. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the magic system, and the world building was really interesting, and I'm very excited to see where the series goes, and excited to see where this author goes. I am going to be reading her series this month in May, so very intrigued to see what I think of the rest of her work. But I really enjoyed Faybound. It was a 4-star. Next was The Eternal Ones. I read this prompt. I forget what the class was, but the prompt was a book that was gifted to you. This book was gifted to me by Princess for my birthday when we went to our book haul, and I actually got to meet Namina Forna. This is the final book in the Gilded Ones, which I won't spoil this book for you, but the Gilded Ones follows this world where girls are, once they reach a certain age, they take a purity test, and they basically prick their finger, and if it's red, they're pure, but if they bleed gold, they're monsters, and shit happens, and one day they are conscripted into an army. I really enjoyed this whole trilogy, the plot twist upon plot twist. I really liked the message of this book, and the way that Namina Forna wrapped this series up. I'm very excited to see what she does next. This was a 4.5. I really enjoyed this series. High key recommend the audiobooks. Next was a book, Silver Nitrate. And like I said, I forgot what these prompts were for, but I know this prompt was for, I had to put the names in a number generator, and pick the letters, a number, basically, and Silver Nitrate was the pick. This is also on my 24 for 24, and this follows Montezat, who is she is, I believe, a sound engineer, and Tristan, who is an soap opera star. They're living in Mexico City in the 90s. I thought this book took place earlier, this was 1920s or something like that, but no, this takes place in the 90s, and they are two best friends. They have a interesting relationship, and Tristan's new apartment, he meets a former director who said that his last film that was cursed, that if they help him fix it and do some editing to it, they could get undo the curse and get riches. They do it, and shit happens. This is by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is one of my favorite Silvia Moreno Garcia books I've read. Gods of Jade and Shadow, this, and I forget what it's called. It's the vampire one, but this is right after Gods of Jade and Shadow. Really enjoyed this. The magic was pretty interesting. I loved our main characters, and their dynamic was great. Tristan was fun, and Montezat. I love Silvia Moreno Garcia's writing, and I just can't wait to read more. But I gave this also a 4-star. A lot of 4-star reads this month. Next was a disappointing read for me, sadly, and that was One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. Now, I will link below my vlog I did, because if you guys did not know, I am doing 12 witchy book vlogs, where there's 12 witchy books, and each month I pull a name from a jar, and I read one, and One for My Enemy was the one for April. You guys can watch that full spoiler review down below, but I enjoyed it, but I still gave this 3 stars. This book follows 2 witch crime families, and it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and like I said, watch the video for the full in-depth analysis. Next, we have The Bad Ones by Melissa Albert. This was a book club pick for my IRL book club, and I enjoyed this. This follows Nora as her best friend, her estranged best friend has gone missing, and Nora was the last person that had contact with this best friend. And some other kids are going missing, and Nora tries to figure it out, and how it's all related back to this goddess game they used to play as kids. And I really enjoyed this. The audiobook was good. I really, really enjoyed the last half of it. There was a flashback story that to me was amazing. And Melissa Albert's really good at creepy. I want to continue to read her creepy. I loved her last book, Crooked Hearts, and I will keep my eye out for whatever she writes, because she's really good for creepy. And I really enjoyed the creepiness of this. This was a thriller with some supernatural hints to it. And, one for our Crooked Heart was a witchy book. So I will keep an eye out for Melissa Albert's future works. I don't know if I'm going to go back and read the Hazelwood, but I really enjoyed these two novels. Next book I have here is Hurricane Wars by Theo Guzman. First, shout out to Jess from Jess Owens, Superstar. I was able to buy her fairy edition off her, so it's so gorgeous. So gorgeous. So, the Hurricane Wars follows two characters, Talsia and Auric. One is a prince, and he has dark magic, and one is a rebel fighter, and she has light magic. This is very a Rilo inspired story, and they fight. There's a war going on. They're on opposite sides, and it's really good. I don't want to get into what happens later in the plot when you get more into the plot, because it spoils shit, and I didn't know that shit was happening. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the battle scenes and the way the magic was described, and the characters were fun. I'm very interested to see what happens later on in the series. I do feel like the story was fast-paced, which was good, because I will say, some of the stuff meandered in the middle, but I'm still really interested to see what goes next, especially because I am intrigued. I will be continuing with the series, and I am enjoying this romantasy. Oh, and this fit for the romantasy prompt on the bingo board. So, the second to last book I have is Thread That Bind by Kikia Hatsupuro, I believe. I'm probably butchering that name, and I'm sorry. So this book follows Io, who is a Moira-born. So in the city, there are God-borns, or once-born, or what is it called? They are called something. I think she is a Moira-born, but there's other-born, I think. Other-born. So they're descendants of the gods. And there's a bunch of different categories. She and her sisters are Moira-born, so they could see the threads of fate. You have some that are Hypnos-born, so they could see, they have control over sleep. And there's other different types. And this is a murder mystery, because our character Io is a detective, and she is hired to find this case of mysterious killings. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the world building was intriguing, and the way the magic system worked was really cool, especially with the other gods included. And I am very interested to see more. I'm excited to see if she does more with this world, because I think it's just a duology, but if she expands this world, it'd be really cool, because they talked about some Nordic born gods. Some had a Chernobog character who had a power, which was cool. And they've just I'm very excited to see where this goes. The magic system was really fun, and the romance was alright, but I was more on the mystery and the magic system, and our main character was pretty interesting on that. But yeah, I gave this a 3.5. Hurricane War was a 4, a low 4. Last book I have here is Strange and Starburn Endurance by Foz Meadow. So this book follows two characters, Vin and Cathali. Vin, I believe. Vin is basically a duke's son, and he is a thirdborn, so he's a thirdborn, so he's never expected to inherit anything. And his father one day plans to have him arrange to marry a girl from another kingdom. And that day something happens, or he's compromised. And he is found out to be gay, and the ambassador is well, that doesn't matter. The girl, he could marry the princess's brother, because that kingdom that they're from, that he would be marrying into, is very queer normative, gender normative, of that, unlike his kingdom, which is very homophobic, and it's got a lot of views on masculinity. And so Vin goes to this kingdom, meets his intended, and there's a mystery happening there. Really enjoyed this romance. The slow burn was really well. I really enjoyed the fact that it talked about Vin's healing from this, because like he is from this viewpoint and world where you have to hide your queerness, and just like there are certain things that he has to do, like to perform, because he is closeted, and I really enjoyed that. I will say, it is trigger warning on the first page. I do the trigger warning, but I'll say too, trigger warning for SA, on page description SA of the main character, but it is a healing plot, like it is for the healing purpose, and I didn't enjoy that, but like I enjoyed this book, gave this book a 4 strong. I probably will be continuing this series. It was really good. This is slow burn though, I will say. I've been enjoying my slow burns lately, so this is very slow burn. So that's what I read in April. What did you guys read? What did you read for the Magical Readathon? Are you competing in any challenges like that? But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!